Channel 5 on your side presents Kaleidoscope, focusing on people who make a difference in Northeast Ohio communities.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast again. Always good to have you here. Let me tell you about the Daniel Plan. It's a 40-day church-based wellness program geared to helping individuals get healthy. The program is offered to churches by the Cleveland Clinic, and this afternoon, Cleveland Clinic physician Dr. Linda Bradley and Metro Health physician Dr. Rochelle Beachy are both here to explain how this program works. And Dr. Beachy was a facilitator of the program at a local church, and Dr. Bradley has personally tried the program. Later on, we will hear from Sue Templer and the Cleveland Treatment Center, and Eric Schmiedel, director of Incognito. And later on the broadcast after that, the president and CEO of the Lorain County Urban League, Frank Whitfield, and pastor of the church on the North Coast, Louis Cayetan, will talk about Unity Day. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, I'm Leon Bibb, and so we begin here with more of Kaleidoscope. We've got Dr. Rochelle Beachy on the left and Dr. Linda Bradley on the right. Many thanks for being on the broadcast. The doctors are in the house. Dr. Bradley, I know you're here to talk, both of you are here to talk a little bit about the Daniel Plan. What is the Daniel Plan?
Well, the Daniel Plan is a program that is being sponsored to churches and religious communities by the Cleveland Clinic. And we've had a recent kickoff, but folks can still sign up for it. We realize that community is the cure. And a great part of many of our lives here in Cleveland or in the greater Cleveland area involves church communities. And so it's a five-tiered look at faith, focus on health, food, fitness, and friends.
Yeah.
So all working together, bolstered by the church, which is like the cheerleader, provides a great format and allowing congregations to reach better, become better versions of themselves and to make help.
Kind of a holistic, looking at the whole human being and the different parts of life which affect our lives, I would imagine.
Correct.
Dr. Beachy, you are here. You are working over at Metro Health Medical Center. Good to have you here today. But you're also you've worked with the church to get this Daniel Plan out to the members of the congregation, Lee Road Baptist Church. How did that work?
Lee Heights Community Church.
Lee Heights, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's in southeast Cleveland, and it's in a food desert. So I've lived and worked and worshiped in the same community practically my whole life. My parents founded our church. And we've been looking for a long time at ways to try to make the church have healthier habits. And this program just really works well as far as being easy and supportive, and people are taught how to eat whole foods, so things without packages, and if you eat something with a package, it's only supposed to have 5 ingredients. Just really practical, and no points, no having to decide. There's no punishment.
What was the response over at the Lee Heights Church? How did they respond to this idea of doing all of this?
So on any given Sunday morning, we have about 150 people there, and over 90 people participated in the program. So it was a huge response. And a lot of people lost up to 40 pounds. We had one woman in our congregation who actually went from being in a wheelchair and using oxygen to starting to walk again, and actually lost 30 pounds in just 6 weeks. And it's just a wonderful response.
Dr. Bradley, that's how it works. That's the goal of it.
Well, the goal is also to work with physicians. So Dr. Mark Hyman, who heads up our functional medicine program at the Cleveland Clinic, actually wrote a book with other colleagues called the Daniel Plan. So in addition to the 5 pillars that we talked about, are your congregation, and I go to Antioch Baptist Church, and so what they do through the Daniel Plan through CCF, blood pressures, weight, glucose screening, and your cholesterol. And so when you look at the original program, started in Saddleback, California, Saddleback Church, over 200,000 pounds of people, 15,000 people were involved with 250,000 pounds of weight loss. So it's a program that's designed to be healthy. It's not a fad. And again, I think what we liked about it, and it sounds like your church too, is this issue of having a buddy system and making you accountable. And there are some religious scriptures that people can adhere to.
Thus the name Daniel from the Bible, Holy Scriptures. Daniel must have been eating very well. I don't know if he had the Daniel Plan cookbook, but he must have been eating pretty well. That's what it's all about, right?
Yes, and actually Cleveland Clinic gave everybody a cookbook that participated in the program. So if you came for your biometrics, you got resources.
Yeah. You find this as vital. I mean, we can take care of ourselves by what we put into our bodies and how we surround ourselves, as Linda said, with good friends. All of that works with us? Is that the idea?
Yes, food is medicine. You can actually get healthy by just eating the right foods and getting away from our American standard diet, which is pretty hard in a community where everything that's on the street as far as options for eating are so bad for you. So getting back to a place where you're intentionally looking at what you're putting into your body is a temple, and you should put things in. That's very, very important, and that's really what this is all about.
There are probably other congregations out there which would like to get involved in this kind of thing.
Goodness,
what must they do?
So this is a program, again, being sponsored by the Cleveland Clinic. On your screen, you'll have it's the Daniel Plan at ccf.org, and the phone number to learn more about it is 216-444-5653. So by calling that number or logging in, you can. It's not just for an individual, but we really want churches because we want it to be a community. Again, community being the cure.
And we can all pull together, and we can kind of help each other.
Right.
In our final 10 seconds or so, this can change one's life.
It can change your life. That's true.
The doctors are in the house. We very much appreciate it. Dr. Rochelle Beachy, Dr. Linda Bradley talking about the Daniel Plan. And if you give a phone call to 216-444-5653, as you see at the bottom of the screen, more information on everything we're talking about. Or you can go to danielplan@ccf.org. danielplan@ccf.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Prevention is the cure.
I feel better already. Send me a bill, doctor.
All right,
No, they won't send me a bill on this one. This is free for all of us. Thank goodness you're here. The Daniel Plan. I'll take a break in just a moment. We're going to talk about a benefit for the Cleveland Treatment Center after we do this first. I'm Leon Bibb. Kaleidoscope continues after we do this first. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. In late November, the Cleveland Treatment Center is hosting the production of Incognito, an unsung hero. Assistant Director and Prevention Coordinator Sue Templer and Director of the play Eric Schmiedel are here to tell us more about this play with an unusual title, Incognito. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Let me start you with Sue Templer. You're Assistant Director and Prevention Coordinator of the Cleveland Treatment Center. What does the Cleveland Treatment Center do?
Cleveland Treatment Center, our main program, we are a opiate, heroin-based methadone treatment facility, medically assisted. The mission of the Cleveland Treatment Center is to provide state-of-the-art, cost-effective treatment, health prevention services for the residents of Northeast Ohio. And through that, we have a series of programs, housing, some sober housing. We have the adult methadone treatment, and then my main program, my youth prevention program.
Certainly you have your work cut out.
We do.
In these days of opiate abuse.
We really do. It's been a big challenge, a very big challenge, and a sad one as well.
Okay, well, we hope that we can make a dent in this problem and resolve a lot of this, and thank goodness that you're here doing what you do. Let's bring Eric Schmiedel into the conversation. Eric, you're director of a play, Incognito. Now, first off, how does that tie in to the Cleveland Treatment Center?
Well, the whole idea for this production came from the executive director of the Cleveland Treatment Center, Elsie Collins, who fell in love with this graphic novel by Matt Johnson called Incognito. And the treatment center has a long history of using arts as a means of reaching out into the community, and so this is a way for us to celebrate not only a really important story, but also the work that they're doing at the treatment center.
Yeah. Incognito, an unsung hero. What's it about?
Well, it's loosely based on an actual person, Walter Francis White, who was the head of the NAACP for years. When he was a young man in the 20s, he was light, and so he could pass, and he would go down and cover the violence that was happening to communities in the South. So this story follows a light-skinned man who can pass, and he has made a name for himself using this undercover name Incognegro, and covering lynchings and violence that happens in the South. At the top of the story, he's almost caught by this really evil person. So he decides he's no longer going to do this. He's done when he makes it safely back up north to Harlem, in the height of the Harlem Renaissance. So he decides, I'm a writer, I'm not going to do this anymore, somebody else can take it over. However, his editor gives him one final case that he can't refuse, and it's that his twin brother, who's darker skinned, is accused of murdering a white woman and is probably going to be lynched. So Incognegro has to go one more time down south into the lion's den.
It's a lot going on in this play. We'll talk a little bit about where we can see this play and when it's going to be. It benefits your organization, the Cleveland Treatment Center.
Yes,
this is a good thing if we can get people into the play, so it will benefit you to do what you need to do in fighting opiate abuse.
Exactly. The funds are dwindling very fast for the fight of that cause. And this will definitely help in bringing out awareness that we are here. We're here to treat for anything, you know, and even the prevention aspect of it. And that's the most, I think that's what needs to be started with first, is the prevention.
When's the production?
The production is
November 25th and 26th, the weekend after Thanksgiving, at the Breen Center on the campus of St. Ignatius.
And the Breen Center on the campus of St. Ignatius, that's on
Lorraine and almost West 25th.
Right near West 25th Street.
By the West Side Market.
Yeah, right near the West Side Market, within sight of it.
And I do star in the play myself. I was so excited that we got the rights for this that I decided to become part of the cast with some great equity actors.
Yeah.
And I am Michaela Mathers.
Yeah, and others are in this. Who else is in this?
You know, Leon, it's what's one of the most exciting things about this whole project is that we've created a collaboration of a really diverse group of people. So we have a diversity both in culture. There's people from all kinds of different mixed backgrounds, and experience. So we have a team of really talented equity actors, Tina Stump, Peter Lawson-Jones, Alan O'Reilly, and then other younger actors who are joining us in the process, including some of the actors that have come through the treatment center program. So there's a young guy named Levi Adams who's come through the program, and now he's kind of working with these professional
actors. And he's giving back to the community this way. Where can we get tickets? I know that I've got a phone number here. We'll put that on the screen, more information. But what are ticket prices for this November 25th and 26th production?
The tickets are free, and so you just need to make sure that you call and reserve your tickets. And the number, as you said, the number will be posted up there. You would contact either myself, Sue Templer, or Peter Betts, and we'd be more than happy to get those tickets out to you.
And that phone number, as you see at the bottom of the screen, in the 216 area code, 861-4246. More information on everything we're talking about. Free tickets, but we need to know that you're coming because we can only get so many people into the Breen Center at St. Ignatius High School, which is on Lorraine, right west of the West 25th Street intersection.
That's correct.
Many thanks for being on the broadcast. I wish you well. And as they say in theater, break a leg, which is a good thing.
We'll look forward to it.
Okay, we'll take a break right now. Thank you so much, Sue Templer and Eric Schmiedel. I'll be back in just a moment. We're going to talk about a big day for Lorain County and the Urban League in that county right after we do this first. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. I'm always glad to have you with me. Lorain County Urban League hosts a Unity Day celebration Sunday, December the 4th. The event is aimed at bringing the community together. And we'll have Dr. Bernice King as keynote speaker. CEO Frank Whitfield and senior pastor of the church on the North Coast, Reverend Louis Caton, are both here to tell us more about this. Frank Whitfield, president and CEO of the Lorain County Urban League, and Pastor Louis Caton of Church on the North Coast, seated on the right. Good to have you both with us, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Tell me about this Unity Day celebration coming up on December the 4th to benefit the Lorain County Urban League. You've got Dr. Bernice King coming in.
Yeah, so, you know, with the climate going on, and even on a local level in terms of the challenges we're faced with, in terms of what we're seeing as a society, you know, this political season, how divided we've become. The irony is, in order to solve these challenges, we need to work together. When it comes to the economy, when it comes to the drug epidemic, when it comes to police-community relations, we need to be coming together to solve these issues as opposed to dividing. So we thought, what better symbol of unity than Dr. King? And that is such a figure that we all as a community have come to respect and honor. And we thought, all right, how about we invite his daughter to come in, which she's a dynamic presenter who's carried on his legacy, bring her into the community and invite the community out, people from all different backgrounds, to come together as a somewhat of a kickoff to us really working collectively to try to solve some of these problems.
And you're going to do this in the church there, church on the North Coast there in Lorraine on North Levitt Road. Why did you decide to get involved in this, Pastor Lewis Caton?
Well, it's an interesting question, and I feel like in our community it's very, very important that we don't just rally when there's a flare-up, when there's a problem, but that we work together for long-term solutions. And Frank and I have a similar heart in that we're not just trying to resolve conflict as much as we are trying to create a different culture, whereas we can come together and be unified and live harmoniously. So this is a little bit different than just saying, hey, we've got police brutality or we've got this racial issue. No, we have a culture that we're trying to create, and I think that's where the kickoff with Dr. King is definitely going to help us.
And with Dr. King, Bernice King, who's daughter of the late, great world hero Martin Luther King. That just fits very nicely hand in glove with what you do for a living as pastor of a church, correct?
Absolutely, it really does. And I met Mr. Whitfield when we were together in a community event, just gathering together. We had some issues in our city, and we wanted to create a template where we say, hey, we can work together. But when the event dispersed, Frank and I talked, and we said, you know, really, we've got to do more. We can't just come together and rally when there's a problem. Let's continue this, and I think that's the big goal.
Okay. How can people get to this event now? Because I know that this is a wonderful, this Unity Day.
Yes.
And is there a cost to going to this event?
So we're, the event is free of cost to anybody. You can go online at unitedneo.eventbrite.com. You can go on our website, lcul.org, to get information on it as well. And the reason we can offer it free is because we're also doing a lot of fundraising efforts, and we're still looking for sponsors that are willing to sponsor the event so that we can make it free to the public. But we got a really good lineup of folks. We got Jeffrey Golden from Sunday Best with BET. He's going to be there performing. We got some youth groups coming in. They're going to do some spoken word and some dance. So it's going to be a good celebratory time, but also I think it's going to be something people have never seen before. You're going to see black, white, brown, all in one space, interacting with one another and making a commitment to work together. And I think that, as you would probably attest to as well, it's time for that in this country right
Certainly.
now.
It's going to be December the 4th. I think that's a Sunday, if my calendar is correct. December the 4th on Sunday. What time you start your program?
So doors will open at 3 o'clock. The program will start at 4. So, you know, folks who, you know, churches out there, you can go to church, get your little brunch or lunch in afterwards, and then come on over and make it a nice day for yourself.
And the church, your church, where you are a senior pastor, church on the North Coast, is at 4125 North Levitt Road in the city of Lorraine. And there's a phone number I want to put on the screen, 440-323-3364. In our final 2 minutes, what do you want to come out of this, Pastor?
Well, you know, what echoes in my heart is Dr. King's message of he has a dream. And I think the dream that he had was the culture shift, the culture change. And my effort is to continue that cultural change in our country, and not politicizing it, not necessarily taking sides, but having courageous conversations where we could sit down and make a difference.
I like that phrase, courageous conversations. You would say amen to what the pastor just said to that. That's what the Urban League has always tried to do ever since its inception 100 years ago or whatever it was.
And I would also say one of the things after we create that culture is then activating that culture towards some sort of activity. So once we're together, now let's talk about how do we address the heroin epidemic? How do we recover our economy? How do we get people engaged in the issues that matter. So I'm really excited about, as we do this culture shift, that as we do that, then we then activate that culture to action. So we're always looking for folks to help out at the Urban League, whether you want to volunteer and help put this event and work, the continuing work, get involved. And if you want to sponsor, you can reach out to us as well. But we're really excited and think that it's going to be something special for Northeast Ohio.
And the pastor said amen to that, right,
Amen,
Pastor?
for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on the broadcast.
Thank
Once
you,
again,
Lee.
it's Sunday, November the 4th at church. December the 4th. Thank you so much for reading my notes for me, because I'm misreading them. December the 4th on a Sunday, starts at 3 o'clock at Church on the North Coast, 4125 North Levitt Road, sponsored by the Urban League of Lorain County and the church itself. Many thanks. Unity Day. We'll take a break. I'll be back. Time for the Morning Exchange segment of our broadcast. That means Marshall Maccabee of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. Good to have you with us. Let me say this one thing about the Urban League of Lorain County. We just did that interview. On the Sunday, December the 4th, they will have a VIP reception with Bernice King, daughter of Martin Luther King, immediately following that program in Lorain County. Urban League of Lorain County doing a wonderful thing, as is the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.
Yes, and let me just say that I applaud their efforts. We work very closely together, and I'm cheering that effort on.
Yeah.
So let me just say that a lot has been on my mind lately, and we've been very busy here in Cleveland with the Get Out to Vote efforts.
Yeah.
I think by the time we air, the election will already have occurred, but I think that it's important to talk about our role in social justice and civic engagement, and we have been doing a number of activities. Our Get Out to Vote national bus tour that we did with a number of churches and Tri-C and all of that. And then additionally, we had a Women Walk to the Poll. Reverend Jesse Jackson came and joined us and spoke, and Mayor Jane Campbell came and joined us. So we've just had a great time during this season and doing the real work of the Urban League, and it's been great to be able to be on the front lines doing that work, Leon.
And of course, there are other elections, always,
Yes.
every periodically, and people have
Absolutely.
to stay registered and continue to vote in all elections.
That's exactly right. And in this election, we also encourage people vote down the ballot. Don't just stop with the presidential election. And then, of course, the Urban League does forums and issue forums and meet the candidates. So we really try to keep our electorate informed on what's going on.
Okay. That's going to have to do it for us. We appreciate you being with us. Marshall Maccabee rides with me at the anchor desk every Kaleidoscope. Most of them, 90% of them.
Yes.
She's here. She's a wonderful co-anchor. For Marshall Maccabee.
This has been a presentation of News Channel 5's Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.